So what I wanted to talk about today was boundaries. I think it's pretty safe to assume that you guys have strong boundaries already. So I don't need to go into the basics of boundaries and why we have them and how to have them. But I guess I wanted to talk about it because even though you're relative experts in the field of boundaries, really, you're in a whole new situation here and you're being faced with challenges that are new. And part of this is the idea of control. And you guys are now working in a situation where there's a lot more that's out of your control, a lot more than usual. You're not being able to provide the standard of care that you're accustomed to, and the outcomes are less certain. We all know that you're not supposed to try and control things that are out of our control. That's not any groundbreaking information, especially not for you guys. But I just wanted to outline a way of thinking that could be helpful. So this way of thinking was developed by a lady called Byron Katie, BYRONKATIE, and her website is thework.com if you're interested in learning a little bit more about this. So she says that there are three kinds of business. There's my business, your own business, which is what I do and say and think and feel and who I am. There's other people's business, which is what they do and say and think and feel, who they are, how they respond. And then there's what I call nobody's business. She calls it God's business. You can call it the universe's business. Whatever you want to call it is actually immaterial. But basically, that type of business is anything that's out of human control. The stuff that is just not for us to decide. Part of that is who lives and who dies. And I know you guys are no stranger to dealing with who lives and who dies. But the interesting part about Byron Katie's philosophy is that she says anytime we suffer, we are in someone else's business. So anytime our stress levels peak really high, it means we have crossed the line from just staying with what we can control, and our mind has gone into areas that are not for us to control. Of course, we're always going to do our best. We're always going to try and get the best outcomes possible for patients. But once we've crossed into a stress response, that means we are no longer in our own business. We have stepped from doing our best into trying to control something. So I just wanted to kind of leave that with you guys, that as soon as you're finding your stress levels peaking, it means that you're no longer in your own business and you need to bring yourself back into your own business. And there's an exercise that we're going to do together now to help you do that. So this is the main thing I wanted to share with you, really, is this exercise to come back into your own business. So I just want you to close your eyes and think of a stressful situation. Situation where things weren't going right, or a situation where you felt helpless, perhaps. So just imagining that situation and now just letting go of the story of that situation and noticing your body in response to that situation. What are you feeling right now as you imagine that situation? What do you notice in terms of the stress response in your body? There's always a physical manifestation of anything actually that we're feeling. We particularly notice it with those more difficult emotions. So you might be feeling a tight chest, sick in the stomach. You might be feeling it in your eyes. You might have a bit of a headache or a tightness in your head. You might be feeling just general muscle body tension. Whatever it is that you're feeling, I just want you to notice it and imagine now, we're going to use your imagination here. Imagine that sensation is there because a piece of you has left you and it's gone out to try and fix this situation. So just imagine that there's kind of a hole there where a piece of you is missing because it's gone to try and fix something. But I want you to also imagine that that piece of you is attached to a bit of a tether, like a thread, and you have the other end of it, and you can draw on that thread and begin to draw that piece of you back towards you. And that piece floats back through space and it comes back to you. You feel it arriving back and it lands back in your body and finds its place. And it slots back in like a perfect jigsaw piece. Now just notice the sensation of when that piece is back here with you. Most likely feel an easing of that sensation that you felt before. A feeling of being more whole, more complete. If you don't feel that, I want you to pause or rewind a little bit and just practice bringing that piece of you back. It just means you need to bring yourself back. So this sensation of the piece being back is the feeling of being in your own business. And as you sit with this right now, you might notice that you feel more able to respond than when that piece of you was missing. So this is a sensation of being at home with yourself, the sensation of being in your own business, of sticking with that really strong boundary. And you know, we can have boundaries, but we're always going to cross them, especially when you're in new and really difficult situations like you guys might find yourselves in. So at the moment, the reason I wanted to share this practice is to have that skill of being able to bring yourself back out of, say, the future, out of someone else's business and back to yourself so that you're more equipped to choose your response. I hope it's helpful. If it's not, chuck it out.